So, the steel bow. Do I like it? I'm gonna be honest with you. I love this thing. There really isn't much I can criticize about this product. The company has fixed things that I had never even considered to be broken in the first place. And even the little things that they have improved on, all that together adds up to a very big plus. So I'll break this up into two parts, the negatives and the positives. So the negatives first. Was there anything that I did consider a true negative? Well, maybe if I was a perfectionist, there was nothing that truly bothered me, but there were a few things. This meter, for example, starts at 10 and not 0. Okay, well, I don't mind. And one thing that, you know, it's not a real negative, it's just a matter of design choice. So, this thing comes with a really nice back, and you actually have space for your springs. You have a zipper for the Bullworker, but you have no zipper for the springs. And well, if you're like me and you usually go places with scooter and you keep this up the wrong way, then that might happen. However, considering this thing's size, I don't consider that a true negative, and I'll get to that later in this review. So, now that the negatives are out of the way, let's talk about the positives. It will be really hard to put all the positives into one video and keep the video short. Let's first talk about the quality. This thing is solid. It feels heavier and more durable than the original one. And that's saying a lot, considering that the original one is known to last a lifetime. Now, I don't know if this one can truly outlast the original one, but it has a warranty of 5 years, and the way that it feels and looks, considering what it is, I think that it can probably easily outlast that. The functionality of this thing is top notch. The biggest plus is that you can change the springs, which makes it a lot more accessible for beginners, older people and even recovering athletes. It's a huge advantage over one that does not have this option, and for those that are bored with the difficulty of the original Bullworker, the harder spring feels heavier than the difficulty that's offered by the original one. I would have some issue to recommend this one to complete beginners. I've owned it for 7 years and some exercises are still really hard to do. This one is accessible for complete beginners and seasoned athletes alike. The grips are a bigger plus than I had previously imagined. It's very comfortable and it makes it a lot more accessible to use for the lower body. That's right, the lower body. Bullworker exercise for the lower body often involve the use of your feet, and these cables, the cables from the original one, they cut into your feet. Not literally, but it's definitely uncomfortable to the point that it can be painful. And this is a huge reason why I never made much use of the original one for lower body workouts. With these grips though, it's easy and not painful at all. Be sure to clean them afterwards though. The size is a huge thing to consider. You might think that smaller isn't as good as a bigger one, and you would be wrong. While experimenting with this, I found that it works better for at least 6 different exercises, and also for multiple muscle groups. Now, to be clear, the bigger one is actually better for all the muscle groups, and all in all, they complement each other really well. And if I had known that, then I would have bought this one years ago. Now, when talking about size, I'm not only talking about functionality, I'm also talking about how portable it is. The Bullworker has always been known for its portability, but the steel bow obviously outdoes the Bullworker in that area. If I take it apart and I store it with little caution, I could easily fit this in my backpack. I might do a video on that later. Now, of course, it comes with a bag, but not everyone wants to carry around multiple bags. I could easily take this to work or school, and I would have no issue doing that. While the original one is a great format for a full body gym, it would be a struggle for most people to take this with them, and for those that are sensitive to peer pressure, it could raise some eyebrows. This thing, however, it's easy to take with you if you have a big enough bag and it looks and feels stylish. And I don't see people raising their eyebrows over this thing. It's more likely that people want to know where you get one. But The last thing I want to talk about are the little things they added. This company has great eyes for detail, and they obviously consider many things. For one, usually Bullworkers already have a power meter, but mine didn't. I think it's pretty cool that this one has it, and it enables me to create a few workouts revolving around this meter. They have improved the hard grips. The softer yet high quality rubber really fits better in your hands. And I think they actually increased the size of the grips to in my opinion, a better format. The design is obviously a lot more stylish, and they even use my colors, black and red. They made the device in a way where it doesn't make any noise. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Again, this does not mean that one is of lesser quality than the other, it just means that one made better design choices. There's also this little piece of rubber, which is a bigger addition than I previously thought because it offers a lot of grip. I have previously struggled for many exercises to keep the whole thing stable, but with this little rubber piece it's not a problem at all. It stays nice and tight on the floor, and there's no chance that it will slip away. The back that comes with it seems to be made from a better quality as well. I mean, the back from the original one is probably older than I am, but the material obviously got a lot stiffer throughout the years, and therefore becomes a lot more breakable. Lastly, I really want to give them props for the charts. The quality of the paper is high-end, it almost feels like plastic. As for what's actually on the charts, never would I read the instruction manuals for anything I own, but this is very informative. They take a very maximalistic approach to training, even talking about training facial muscles. Well, that's the review. If I really had to give this thing a number right now, I would give it somewhere around a 9. And as far as I know, this is the top dog you can get. It's a little bit more pricey than some of its competitors, but for that little extra you get a lot back. And it's a very fair price, especially for this size. Even for people that already own a Bullworker of a bigger size, this is a really interesting investment, especially if you are mostly training with a Bullworker. If I knew I would like it this much, I would have bought this thing years ago. Well, I got nothing else to add. Thanks for watching this review, and I'm gonna enjoy a workout with this thing.